Welcome to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. When you hear the word chronically, do you automatically associate it with chronic disease? We all do. It's been programmed right into us. But what if we flip that whole idea on its head? Let's discover how we can create chronic health in our bodies, our minds, our finances, our relationships, and of course, our lives. Welcome to the place where chronically means healthy, wealthy, joyful, and ridiculously alive. Let's flip the script together. Hi, I'm Andy, and joining me in everything is my life partner, Minna.
So, the holidays are coming, right?
Mhm.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, and it's a time that's supposed to be joyful.
Yes.
But it's also the time that most people go into some kind of depression.
Okay, yeah,
right?
I can see that.
It's because, seeing other people happy makes you less happy.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is because of the vaccine.
Of course, yeah. I agree. It's funny because we've shared many times why we left California, and it was all because of the vaccine. A lot of people thought it was for cheaper taxes or whatever it may be. But the reality of it is we knew that the vaccines were coming to California. They're going to be mandatory, or most of us will be losing our jobs. I knew they were shutting everything down. And so they were basically so much emotional trauma, not only in our bodies.
So this particular vaccine, right, is different from the other vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
When we take the other vaccines before, they tell you that you may get the flu, you might feel little headaches, stuff like that. But this one, the side effects is through the roof.
Yes, and it's funny you say that because they tell you specifically if you have these side effects, like if you're feeling sick, you're getting sore, you're getting tired, you got a fast heart rate, it's good. That means the vaccine is working. And oh my God, it is so crazy. They say that it was safe and effective. And I got to tell her screaming from the top of her lungs on YouTube, Facebook, social media, WhatsApp. I was trying to share friends.
Terminal cancer, the heart attacks, strokes, the really bad ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are millions of other people that it's not the kill shots.
Yes.
But they have these silent traumas, the fatigues, the heart flutters, brain fogs, all this depression, feeling that I don't feel like me anymore. All those maybe symptoms of something that it's not just you. There's actually something to it.
Exactly. And the frustrating thing is depending on where you are, who your doctor is. And to be fair, first of all, we're not doctors. Once again, this is our opinion. This is something that we're observing. But Dr. Nicholas Holscher and Dr. Peter McCullough, they are doctors in their right and in their studies. And these things that we talking about, the brain fog, the heart flutters, the pains, getting sick all the time, that's not normal. And if your doctor's saying, oh, that's normal, it's that time of year where there's flu. Well, the last time I hear flu is usually during winter. You don't get flu all year long, right? And if you're getting sick every 2 or 3 months, oh, it's a bug that's out there. Just about 5 years ago, how often were you getting sick from the bug out there, right?
Think about as kids, like we spread a lot of the germs. Right?
Yes.
And we pick it up, your body adapts to it, and without any for it, right? And that's why we don't get sick a lot of times. You don't keep getting sick from the same time. But if you do, there's something wrong with you.
Exactly. And if you look at the studies that is out there, and the main thing is you need to look at the studies that are out there. Listen to people, oh, it's all bogus. You have to look. Nicholas Holscher, Dr. Peter McCullough, the McCullough Foundation, they've broken down all the studies, right? They can list you exactly what studies, and these are all peer-reviewed studies, and it's showing that there is persistent spike proteins that is staying from your body. not from catching COVID naturally, because when you catch COVID naturally, you only get rid of those, get rid of those spike proteins. Everyone that is classified as long COVID, oh, I'm sick all the time, my doctor said I'm COVID. Study showing everyone is everyone that's been vaccinated. So it's actually long vaccinated, not long COVID.
So if you are someone that is not really feeling yourself, or you have a lot of people around you that have turbo cancer, from 3 months you get stage 4, that's not normal. Young people that has heart attacks, or you're feeling really tired, you get sick all the time, there's certain things you can do about it.
Exactly. And the first thing that I would recommend that you do, and this is something that we all should be doing, is test, don't guess. There's a simple test that is to test your circulating spike protein. And if you still have spike protein in your body right now, after 5 years since COVID happened, there's a problem, right? And there's a very simple test that you're testing your COVID antibodies. And yes, your body should be making antibodies when it has fought off a disease, but it should not stay in your body. It should just dissipate after the disease is gone and maybe come back again if you catch it, but it should not stay in your body. And depending on how much antibodies you have in your body, that can show if you have circulating spike protein that is at the danger level.
So that would be evidence that you have something in your body that is working against your health, right?
Yes.
And, testing is the first thing you should do always. Just because the doctors say that you're old, you're aging, you can actually test for that too. You can test your age.
Yes,
right?
yes. There are a lot of blood panels that can test your age. We also do a lot of exercises that can test your physical age. And there are actually, I guess brain tests. I haven't done that yet to test your brain age. That may be something interesting to do. But it is very important to test every aspect. Don't just let your doctor say, everything's okay, everything's fine, everything's good for your age, everything's good for your body shape, everything's good as a woman, as a man. There's no such thing. There's either an excellent number or the average number, which is what everyone's having, and the sick number, which is more of the people we're seeing.
So the first thing is to test. And if your results come out not so good, what can you do?
If your results are not good, what you really want to do, like if your spike protein is over, say, 1,000, right? For most people, if you got up to 1,000, under 1,000, that means you probably caught COVID. And if your body's strong, it should dissipate back down really low, right? Me and Minna's number, we test ours every 3 to 6 months because we're out all the time, right? We're out around people, and we know that the people that got the vaccinated, the shits, right? So we're gonna get it even though we didn't actually get the shot. So we're concerned about spike protein, and our number is 13 to 50. But if your number is over 1,000, people that are sick all the time, that's getting turbo cancer, that's getting heart attacks, that's getting heart conditions, they are like anywhere from 10,000 all the way to 25,000.
So what else can you do?
If the number is high, what I would suggest is try to break down the spike protein. And there are a lot of natural protocols. Dr. McCullough has a great spike detox that he has, which combines what does it combine? It combines bromelain. It combines what else is it? It combines nattokinase, that Japanese slimy soybean.
Natto.
Yeah, natto, and curcumin, which is in turmeric or in curries.
What about glutathione?
Glutathione is very, very important to boost up in your body because that is your master antioxidant, and you can get it through your foods that are high in cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, broccoli, especially broccoli sprouts, pasture organic eggs that we eat all the time, and of course, sleep and exercise helps. But if you really want to boost up your glutathione, ask us about the glutathione patch that we're wearing here. This really boosts your glutathione up to 300% daily, which really helps to not only get rid of the heavy metals, but also help you break down things in your body that shouldn't be there.
Let's talk about copper peptides.
Yes, I think copper peptides is becoming more and more important now than ever. Stem cells is a hot topic, and you're seeing talk more about stem cells, and it is time, and you're seeing more and more of this because I think people realize that eating better and exercising more isn't going to solve the problem. You really want to boost your body's ability to repair itself. And unfortunately, as we're getting older, like as the numbers go up, activities and ways to get, we love great products. Great product I have one here, the X39, it helps you GHKC naturally through your own body's light, energy, and heat. So that's a great way to boost your GHKCU. And most people start feeling results within days. And the beauty of the GHKCU, within about 24, 48 hours, you're resetting 4,000 plus genes, which is really, really important to start the healing process.
Well, I hope this helps. And we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have a guest with us.
Yes, we'll see you right back.
Everything we're made of contains light. From the sun that feeds our world to the energy that flows within us. With LifeWave X39, we've found a way to put that light to work. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHKCU, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality. By gently stimulating the skin with light, our non-invasive, non-transdermal X39 patches help you conquer your active lifestyle and pave a new way to vibrant health. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. It all starts with your body and a little help from light. Place one LifeWave X39 patch on the body. Apply the patch to clean, dry skin in the morning. Patches may be worn for up to 12 hours before discarding. Keep well hydrated while using this product. Harness your natural potential. Reclaim youthful energy. Live long, live well, live young with LifeWave X39. Be the light. LifeWave.
When you look in the mirror, do you see skin that's just dry, tired, and stressed? It's time for a new ritual. Introducing Deep Love, the Blue Botanical Face Cream by Coolness. We've captured their tranquil essence of blue botanicals in a cloud-soft formula that deeply soothes irritation and restores your natural, healthy glow. This isn't just skincare, it's an act of self-care. It's Deep Love. Find your calm only at coolness.com. Scan the QR code now to visit our website.
Heidi integrates breathwork, energy therapy, plant medicine, human design, Reiki, Psych K, and therapeutic ketones, supporting others to stabilize, release, and return home to their bodies. Her work is heart-led and soul-deep, designed for those ready to walk bold and healing paths. Welcome, welcome, Heidi.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here.
We're delighted that you're here today. Our topic is From Surviving to Thriving, how your body's breath, energy, and nervous system health unlocks lasting wellness. Can you tell us a little bit how you started with this, Heidi?
Yeah, it was kind of a thrusting into the fire moment for me. I suffered with complex PTSD, panic attacks, and anxiety, depression my entire life. And it wasn't until I had a panic attack in the car and contemplated jumping from the car with all my kids in the car as well. And in that moment, time stopped. And I decided I have to do something else because I was doing therapy. I was on medication for all the things. And I was willing in that moment to do anything. So that meant going against religious, familial, cultural things. So I decided to do some plant medicine. I went to Costa Rica and partook in some ayahuasca ceremonies. Mm-hmm. And it was the cracking open of sorts where it kind of magnified everything and made it not worse, but brought it to my awareness in a different way. And then after that, I started breath work. And once I started focusing on my body, that's when my symptoms started to diminish. So I never got back on meds, and it's just been kind of an upward trajectory ever since then. Minimizing symptoms, like I said, and health is what, like maximizing health, obviously, as those symptoms diminished, because my capabilities and capacities grew. I'm a much better mom, better wife. I show up better, able to serve instead of needing all the help in the world just to survive. So it's been a radically slow, but also very quick journey. It started in 2020. So if you think about going from heavily medicated and not really functioning to now owning a business and helping in society and guiding retreats and groups, it's kind of mind-boggling to think that it can happen so quickly.
Oh, that's amazing. That is, most people, it's funny. We were just talking about that the other day, about how people they say, I want change, but then they shy away from things manifesting quickly. So did you have any experience with needing, like, having to back off a little bit and let your healing kind of integrate before moving to the next level?
It was not clear at all as I was on the journey, because when I came back from my first experience with ayahuasca, I came back because the country shut down. That was March 14th of 2020. Oh. So not only had I just gotten off of meds, right, when I was there were some things that came out about my husband, about some other things. So I didn't really trust him. So I came home to that, as well as 4 children needing homeschooled, and the world shut down. So me integrating in that space was probably the worst 9 months of my life until I was able to return back, because they asked me to stay for a second week. I was quite the case. It got me off the shuttle to the airport to stay for another week. And I did, but then Monday before ceremony was going to start is when they said, you need to get home within 24 hours. Oh. So since I had already paid, I went back again in January on my own, but I don't know that I would have had I not already paid, because it magnified, it made me have to look at the way that I was living, right? And owning my own victimhood, owning the complacency and or just shutting down because things were hard and I didn't know where to look or didn't know how to interpret what I was receiving. So during that shutdown, I dove into Dr. Joe Dispenza's work and practiced meditations. Thankfully, he had some experiences still open in Mexico, so my husband and I were able to go. I got, so during the last ceremony of the first week of ayahuasca, I was told in the medicine that breathwork would be my practice to learn to trust myself again. So somatic breathwork was my first experience there at the retreat. They offered 2 nights of that. So I was able to partake of that, and it was radically different, being able to process through my body and feel the different sensations that come up, and having control, so to speak, of your own breath, managing the experience. And so I was able to get a breathwork coach and for a year, and kind of did a deep dive on that. And that's really when I noticed things starting to shift. And from that, it was a slow process, but also quick enough where others were able to see a difference sooner than I was. I noticed things were shifting, but it was all so very uncomfortable because I was living a very different life and interacting with things so differently. But in order to do that, I had to be a different person. And like I said, owning my victimhood and owning my limiting beliefs, my own limitations that I was putting on myself, and stories that I tell myself about who I am and what I'm capable of. And that's never comfortable or easy to look at yourself in that way. But I think owning it and taking a step back to get curious instead of angry or critical of myself was, I think, the biggest first step.
Oh, that is a really important thing that you just said.
Yeah.
How many times we do that all to ourselves? We beat ourselves up all the time. I'm terrible about it. I admit it. But why do we do that? It's like you didn't know then. So don't beat yourself up over what you didn't know then. You can't look back and play, future quarterback on your on your past because you didn't know.
Right.
So have you ever taken a minute to give yourself credit for how far you've come? Like, good job. You've come so far.
Yeah, in the beginning it wasn't easy because I lived so much in self-hatred and just loathing. So it was really beautiful being able to have other people start to come into my life, other coaches and facilitators and guides helping me to do that reflection. But I have absolutely moments of inexpressible gratitude. It makes me emotional every time thinking about where I've been and knowing that right now, I could die tomorrow and be so grateful and happy with where I've come and who I am now as a wife, as a mother, having no regrets, and making it easier to own who I was, right? I wasn't a great mom. I wasn't very available. Just as much criticism and judgment I placed upon myself, I did so with my children, so being able to have those tables turn and show up differently is kind of exciting and humbling all at the same time.
I bet your kids are pretty honest. They'll tell you. So I bet they're telling you how much they love you now. Or more. Well, they're kids.
Yeah, they're kids. It's so funny because my oldest kind of rode the waves, right? She was a senior in 2020, and so she had to take care of the other kids, and it was a lot to put on her. She helped tremendously. She was incredible, but I know that it took a toll on her, and she was more on the front lines, seeing me and kind of knowing when I was in my room having a shit show in the back, and not available for her, and just kind of naturally stepping into that. But I feel like my second, it was really hard. Each kid reacted and interacted very differently to the transformations. Like some felt betrayed because we were doing things differently, right? Like stepping away from a very strong religion and different cultural beliefs. She felt like we raised them one way and then we were acting differently. And I don't blame her at all for that because we were, right? And so my son, he's, I think he kind of was young enough and he's a boy. So he just kind of went with whatever, as long as he was fed and had his sleep, he was good, Then I think it was a little easier for him because he wasn't so immersed at an age where he was more malleable. And then my youngest, I don't think she remembers anything. She's more spiritually inclined and free-spirited and into whatever, and is open, asks for the energy stuff before bed or the oils or, different modalities that I have because she feels the difference and she's more open to that versus the older kids. I admit that I conditioned them, right? Within that religion, there is certain things that you do and okay and not okay, right or wrong, whatever. So they grew up with that conditioning alongside of me. So I am so patient and I am allowing them to have whatever view they have of me for as long as they need. I'm just happy that I can love them.
Oh, that's actually a really beautiful thing to say. Well, I have a question about something you said earlier about it all starts in the body.
Yeah.
And I think we're caught in this sort of little loop thing of we're always worried about our bodies, but then we don't actually, there's so much programming out there about you have to take, oh, your eye twitched, you should take a pill. And it doesn't work that way. So
Right.
Listening to your body, can you go a little deeper into like listening to your body and what that actually can look like and mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So it turns out that, breakthrough wasn't in my mind. It was in my body all along. And that became more obvious in plant medicine because as things were being magnified, it always came back to the feeling, right? So if I felt radically out of control during an experience, like not being able to communicate or talk or open my eyes, like literally stuck in the medicine for 12 hours, that's not a typical experience. But for me, it was necessary. It was very scary and hellish. But in talking with the shaman after the fact, right, and working through it, because I wasn't willing to do medicine again until I understood it, he was like, well, how did you feel? And I was like, stuck and out of control. Like I had no control. He was like, well, do you feel that way in life? I was like, oh, yeah, or if I threw up or purged in some way. And I was like, I don't know what this is or what happened. And they're like, well, how do you feel? Unloved and unsupported. And she was like, well, I guess you got your answer, right? It always comes back to the emotional experience. And that's usually just a vibration or a sensation in your body, right? When you're really angry or you're crying so hard, it's usually like hot in your chest or hard to breathe, right?
Yeah.
And all of this is just information, right? It's your body asking for something to be looked at, because when we have experiences that happen a little too quickly, or we don't have the capacity or time to actually feel and fully experience the moment, those vibrations and expressions of, we call them emotions, stay resonating within the body as frequency, right? And so if you can imagine, our life compounds all these experiences and moments that we aren't able to integrate. It creates a lot of chaos within our body, and then our functions can't speak to each other, right? Our brain and our body can't communicate. Our nervous system gets out of whack and dysregulated. So once we start using the body and allowing it to move through and integrate these vibrations and experiences, there's more space and capacity. It frees up our body to have the movement that it naturally needs to have. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I think I'm finding this fascinating because that is not at all. I mean, we are so twisted in the way we perceive things, but that, like your emotions, if I don't know, someone once said to me, oh, oh, I'm scared. I have this pit in the bottom of my stomach. And someone said to me, could it be excitement? Could you rename it excitement? Because I was getting ready to start something brand new that I'd never done before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like that. Let's call it excitement instead. And then it shifted everything. It shifted the perspective.
Yeah. And a lot of times that works. And most of the time it might not, just because there's something like it wants to be looked at and acknowledged, right? We think of it as shadows. And once you shine the light in the darkness, it's no longer darkness, right? So it becomes light. It becomes integrated into wholeness. So like acknowledging the feeling and allowing it to fully express, whether that's tears or hot or cold or just moving through whatever sensations you're having, it's really easy to then allow it to, be, and it's no longer pushing against it. Because when we try to like shift gears or do something so we don't feel it, it's pushing it away, like that little child within us. You know what I mean? Like just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. When really, when you listen to the kid, it runs away happy.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Oh, I'm loving this topic, but we have to take a quick break. So everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back with Heidi Romer.
Oh,
Why do 98% of beauty enthusiasts rave about coolness? It's all in the blend of ancient wisdom and modern science. Introducing Coolness, Pearlescent Face and Eye Serum Cream. This powerhouse combines the antioxidative power of schisandra berries, the glow of pearl powder, and the hydrating wonders of dragon's blood extract. It's like a time machine for your skin, making it radiant, firm, and oh so smooth. Inspired by ancient Chinese traditions and backed by modern nutritional science, this serum cream is perfect for dry, mature, and aging skin. It's time to unlock your inner glow with Coolness. Treat your skin to the best of both worlds today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. We are here with an amazing guest, Heidi Romer, and we were just about to dig into some juicy topics about healing and the recognizing the real messages that come from your body. Heidi, I wanted to ask you, I've been hearing a lot about regulating your nervous system lately, and I think that that's kind of where we're going here, but regulation seems to me like how do you do that? I think maybe recognizing what's going on is a better way to say it. Yeah. So let's talk about, well, I know what you went through some great learning on this topic.
Yeah. So it kind of piggybacks off of emotionally being able to express and to feel, right, within ourselves, because our nervous system, when it is dysregulated, it's when we ignore those signs and symptoms that our bodies are giving us. And we're ultimately not a safe space within ourselves to process or allow, which creates dissonance, right? And it creates a new set point for our nervous system where we're always in chaos and that fight or flight response. So I believe it comes down to safety within self that is equal to regulation. So when you're allowing yourself to have crap moments, to get overwhelmed, to do whatever, and then finding tools and utilizing tools to find safety in that moment, to then bring yourself down into that calm state. You do that over and over and over, and that's a reconditioning. So it kind of allows your body to be safe and like breath work, grounding, actually going out and putting your feet on the earth or hugging a tree, literally. Like Mother Nature will regulate your blood pressure, your nervous system. It's a beautiful tool to utilize when you don't know anything else to do and you just need something quick, like go lay on the grass or go put your feet on the earth. So all of these tools that I utilize are really helping you to come back to self and find safety there. And in that space, you're able to then thrive, right? Because you're reconditioning yourself from that fight or flight state into the rest and digest, and you're able to think more clearly and make decisions from a sound space instead of out of fear.
Oh my gosh. I'm guilty of it. I'm sure many people, that knee-jerk reaction, and we make a decision and then we go, why did I do that? Why didn't I just take a step back and let myself, process through that before I made a decision? So that's true. Well, is there anything we could do right now to kind of a little tip or trick that we can use?
Yeah, I have a freebie that I will link to. It's on my website. You can download it for free. It's 10 different things, right, that you can choose to do. And it's mostly all free. You can do it at home. If you have aromatherapy, I think that's the only one that has things that you might need. But other than that, the other 9 are like just breathing patterns or writing techniques or whatever. So, but I think the most simple thing, I love using breath. I love using breath. And it's really beautiful to be able to utilize it because you have it all the time. You don't need anything outside of yourself. And if you know how to breathe, you can regulate yourself so easily, and it doesn't take long. So, it's beautiful because breath work can be utilized in a couple different ways. So I like integrative breath work, which is getting your body out of that fight or flight state, right? This reconditioning aspect. And then there's the somatic breath work, which is kind of like digging out the shovel and saying, okay, let's look at this and go deeper, accessing the subconscious. So your body is allowed to process through the breath and purge and release and to feel. So it's one session of somatic breath work is like years of therapy, because you're addressing at the root cause, which is your body, and allowing it to process through whatever it's ready to, instead of focusing on, oh, I want to address this topic, right? Maybe your body's not ready to feel through that. So I love that it's allowing your body to decide what it's ready for. You can control the experience, right?
And I actually am going to give you a testimonial here, because I've been in your class, your somatic breathwork class, and it's amazing what comes up. It's amazing, and if you just keep going, you're so good at helping us stay focused and letting it be okay, whatever it is. And I have to give you a compliment for that, because that was every time you said something like it's okay, I was like, yeah, listen to her.
Yeah.
Can we try something with maybe
absolutely
getting out of the fight or flight, which is pretty simple?
Right. So with the somatic, it's 2 inhales and 1 exhale. So inhaling more is excitatory. So that's amping up your system and basically putting you in that fight or flight state on the edge on purpose, right? To bring up what needs to be released. So integrative, you're going to focus more on the exhale. So you're going to breathe deep into the lower lobes of your lungs, making it as deep as you can. And in the lower lobes of your lungs are actually the nerve endings to your parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest state. So that's why you want to breathe into the lower lobes, and you'll know you're doing that if your belly expands. So breathing deep into the belly, really expanding the lower lobes of your lungs. We'll say in for 5 counts, and then exhale for longer, right? So I like to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose, because it makes you breathe slower. Obviously, if you're too heightened, you can start with your mouth breathing, and that's fine, but counting is helpful. And exhaling for longer than you inhale is that calming down effect, also pain relief, helping you to sleep, get into the sleep state, rest, So it's initiating those nerve endings is that switch. It kind of pivots from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic.
Oh, I love that. So obviously, I'm a swimmer, and I actually didn't know I was doing that when I'm swimming, but I do that because I mean, when I say I'm a swimmer, I mean, I was a competitive swimmer. So breathing was a big part of being a competitor. And the thing most people do when they swim is they don't understand why they can't breathe. And it's because you're not breathing out underwater, because it doesn't feel natural to do that. But you have to, because then when you try to breathe, you can't breathe in if you've already got lungs full of air.
Right.
Then you panic. So I didn't realize I was doing that, because my exhale is always longer than my inhale. Inhale is like, while you turn your head, and then breathing out is. So
it's great for conditioning, for athletic conditioning, and monitoring and regulating your breath as you go gets you much better at endurance and longevity, because you're not only not in that heightened state, but if you can regulate your breath where it's like just automatic, you're going to reduce the energy output.
So that's why yoga breathing helps people then so much, because they're activating their parasympathetic system.
And they're syncing the breath with the body. So you're allowing the body to fully come and be present with your body through the breath.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I have a t-shirt that says yoga is better than therapy.
Yeah. I remember I was at my first retreat when I experienced that. I feel like it was transcendental, like where I was breathing and my body was moving with the breath. And I was like, oh, wow, that's what it's supposed to feel like. Like I felt like in my body for the first time almost, right? Where I wasn't focusing on moving my body, but I was allowing it to move with the breath. And it was just like I was observing my body move, but it felt so powerful and like effortless. And how much efforting we do in life, it opened up a whole different paradigm of like, wow, what if I just let go a little bit more and allowed my breath to allow movement and natural, like because your body will naturally do what it desires to do, right? What it's being called to do or moved to do. And so being able to put the forcing or efforting on the back burner and allowing just like observation and curiosity and like just breathe and see what happens. It's really cool.
Yes. That takes so much pressure off too, because it's like, we tend to think if we're not do every second of the day from the time we wake up till the time we lay our heads down, that we're lazy or unmotivated.
Yeah. And that's why I love to utilize human design and also masculine and feminine energies, because different people are made to function differently, right? So moving with your natural energy flow is really helpful. Also, there's different ways to make decisions. Some are more emotional decision makers, and others are more gut response, and some are more intuitive or mental, right? But so knowing how you function best is how I'm going to guide you, not according to what I think or what I've experienced. It's according to your energetic blueprint. And I think that's really, really helpful, because as women, we're meant to flow, right? We're meant to be chaotic and nurture and be able to have these quick shifts, right? And men having more structured, they're meant to hold it, right? Not that it's theirs, but like creating that structure for us to kind of flow amidst is like that beautiful synchronicity of masculine, feminine energy. And it doesn't have to be male or female, right? We oscillate all the time. Like in this conversation, as I'm speaking, I'm more masculine, right? As you're receiving, you're feminine. It's just in that kind of energetic.
Yes. The energetics of it. Right. It's not really about your gender. It's about the energy. Right. Right. That I love that. It feels so much, it feels holistic. It feels so much more like you're not denying things or pretending that they're not there, and then they become a huge problem later.
Right. And I think that is like culminating of my experience in this life, and the transformation is the more I know, the more that I understand that I don't know. So the more structure I put to life, the more I feel like it has to be a certain way, or I have to fit into a certain thing. I'm radically less happy. Right. But as soon as I release the structure and having to look a certain way or force myself into things, or I shoulds, oh my gosh, the shoulds are so diminishing of the energy, right? Then like allowing flow, like there's so many things that aren't in our awareness that are also available, right? I didn't believe healing was an option, and here I am, right? Like I just thought I was going to be able to cope better. But in reality, it's like, oh, our bodies are meant to heal. Our bodies are meant to flow and adjust and adapt and grow older, right? We're meant to do all the things.
Yes, I love that. It's like if you cut your finger, you don't have to go heal come on. Why aren't you healing faster? It just does it.
Yeah, you put a Band-Aid on it and you nurture it, and you like you baby it, right? You maybe don't put it under the water. We don't think about it nurturing it, but we actually are, as we like wrap it and hold it outside the water instead of doing dishes or getting it dirty or whatever.
Yeah. It's funny, as a teacher, kids are like that. There are so many times they run in as if I have a boo-boo and there's nothing there, but they need a moment of, and they need a little wash off and a little Band-Aid. And then, when I would kiss the boo-boo, I would kiss my finger and touch the boo-boo, because I'm not going to go kissing children, and not happening. And unless they're my own, but that was what they needed. And then they'd scamper off all better.
Yeah. And that's a lot of the ways of healing for ourselves is those different aspects of self that need attention and need that right nurturing and love. It's ultimately giving it to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. I can see in you that you it's like you have the medicine inside you.
Yeah.
So do we all have the medicine inside of us?
Absolutely. You don't need more spirit to be more spiritual, get any more rocks. I mean, they are fun to have, but take another guru, right? Like coaches or whatever. Like if that's helpful for you to self-reflect or to understand and interpret what's going on, yes, absolutely. But the less we rely on anything external, whether it's medications or people or, habits, and more on ourselves, it just brings you back to your own knowing. So your breath, your body, your truth, right? You are the healer, and all of the modalities I incorporate, from, breath work to plant medicine to energy tools, even the ketones, right? They're just ways to remember that. So I love being able to utilize all the tools, but it's really all for the one purpose of you coming back to you and learning how to work with yourself and interpret whatever your body is giving you for information.
I like that. It just makes sense to me. You're right. We can use all these tools, but when you know that your breath is the core thing, that simplifies, because you can always breathe and you can always pause and breathe. And like you said, get out of fight or flight, calm down, or if you need energy, activate a little bit. And that's empowering. That's empowering.
And it simplifies it, right? Because it is overwhelming when you can barely survive day to day, moment to moment. It's very overwhelming thinking about healing anything, or just the word heal is like, because you're like, now what? Just see money signs or people or things to do, remember checklists or whatever. So, if we can just focus on breath and start regulating your nervous system, meaning finding safety within your body, radical shifts happen naturally.
That's beautiful. And one caveat, everybody, if you are in a situation where you are or your children are in physical danger, please get help immediately. 211.org will help you find help if you are in physical danger. So just a caveat there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Heidi, this has been fantastic. How can people find you?
Absolutely. So if you go to HeidiRomer.com, there's a link to either booking consults. I do a free consult, booking one-on-one sessions of breath work, or, my 3-month-long program. There's also a freebie that I mentioned earlier of like the 10-day stress reset with supportive emails. And I also created a 100-page guide/ebook with video links for breath work and a workbook at the end. So all of those links are there. You can find me at the Heidi Romer on Instagram and heal@HeidiRomer.com for email.
Okay. And the QR code on our screen, I believe
that goes to my Stand store, which is all the links. So all the options, it goes directly to that.
Wonderful. Oh, Heidi, thank you so much for coming on our show today. I could talk to you about this for hours and hours.
It's been an honor. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we're delighted to have you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Okay, everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back after this. Okay. Hi, everybody. Kristy here. We're talking about the different types of learning modalities, the 3 basic types. And today we're going to talk about kinesthetic learners. Kinesthetic learners are the kids who've got to feel things. They need things to touch. They do really well with manipulatives in math, meaning a manipulative is a thing they can touch. So for example, it could be blocks or even jelly beans or something like that they can move around and touch if they're working on a math concept. Like, if you have 3 red jelly beans and 4 blue jelly beans, how many jelly beans do you have? It helps them connect their visual and their kinesthetic. They need to touch, move things around. A lot of times in school, these kids will want to stand up when they're learning. And I personally am of the opinion, let them stand up. If they're at their desk and they're focusing and they're standing, who cares? Why do they have to sit in a chair when it's natural for them to stand up? Kinesthetic learners a lot of times tend to be very athletic as well. Now, kinesthetic learners in the classroom, they're the third ones to raise their hands to answer questions. So when the class goes too fast, they get left behind, and that is not fair. So the visuals pop their hands up first, and then the auditories come in next with deeper insight. If you slow down and give the kinesthetics time to process, they will come up with some really amazing things. A lot of times they're out of the box, they're innovative. It's very, very interesting. And then the best thing is you have your whole class engaged, as opposed to leaving out the kids who are a little slower to process. So it really helps. And if they can they're the kids who need to have like a ball in their hand, or they fidget with their pencils or something. All that kind of stuff is an indicator. Watch out for now.
The time has come for us, the parents who want more for their children and the teachers who want to love teaching again, to band together and stop the coercion and control and the crazy-making boredom. How? By making learning a joyful experience in a relaxed environment. By supporting and encouraging kids, not forcing or tricking them. Meet Kristy Boyd Johnson and the Barefoot Learning Club membership. Go to www.barefootlearningclub.com and find out more. Together, we can raise a generation of wildly capable and happy kids.
Welcome back to Chronically Healthy Life. What do you think of Heidi's interview?
I think it is really important, like we said in the very beginning, so many of us is dealing with silent trauma, and the time is for us to wake up from it. It's like from the very beginning, she actually thought about jumping out of her car with her kids in it. That's how much trauma she had in her body. And I'm hoping for all audience out there that you never ever want to be in that space. So for the way she helps with people with trauma, especially the breathing, I think that's something that's easy to do, something that doesn't need any added equipment, and technically is free.
You know what's the funny though? When I first do the meditation, breathing, all that, it's like, I already know how to breathe. No one ever has to teach you how to breathe. Why is someone teaching me how to breathe? But there's actually a lot of knowledge in breathing that no one taught you. You didn't know. It's like it's to come naturally.
That's so true. And if you listen to a lot of the meditation that Minna says, or a lot of the martial arts, when you're breathing in, most people breathe in and they suck their belly in when they breathe in. But actually, when you're breathing in, your belly should actually be coming out. And when you're breathing out, then it sucks in. So most people are actually breathing completely wrong, like you said, right? And depending on what you're doing, if you're doing working out, it's always important to breathe in and breathe out on the strength exercises, or even when you're doing yoga, meditation, or, I've been doing a whole series on cold plunging. Very, very important how you breathe to control the energy in your body.
So that's a wrap for today. Join us back here every Friday, 7 p.m. CST at e360tv.com. We're on the Vitality TV network, YouTube at Chronically Healthy Life.
And swing by chronicallyhealthylife.com this week for 3:30 minutes. And check out our brand new line at coolness.com. Until then, stay vibrant, stay fierce, and stay ridiculously chronically healthy. We'll see you next week.